Hi there, everyone. It's your pal Jeff again to come back to you with my weekly learning from On Leah's All Hands. For those of you that are new to this weekly installment or have forgotten, we are a learning company that works with industry and education around the world. And to make learning part of our culture, we ask people to bring some learning to our All Hands meeting every week. I like to share the best or most interesting of that with you following up on the meeting. This week I want to talk a little bit about accessibility and the various ways that word manifests itself in our online lives and different ways of looking at it. So we're pretty used to, I think, talking about accessibility in terms of, like wheelchair access and sort of Braille or ASL interpreters, for the national anthem on the Super Bowl, or even captions like are on this video. And that's great, and that's what compliance is for accessibility. And I want to brag on one of our clients who's sort of moving beyond that level of accessibility with us, and I'm just really excited about it. And so the learning that came to our meeting last week was not really new learning, but a new development with one of our clients. We're lucky enough to work with the Coaching Association of Canada, and I'll share their website below. You can check out some of the work they do, but they do amazing work with sports organizations across the breadth of sports in Canada, and at all levels, from the very elite Olympians to beginners. And they work to make coaches better for athletes and athletic pursuit, safer and more accessible. And for them, that of course includes things like disabilities and different types of abilities, but it also it means things like cultural literacy or just literacy. And with that in mind, one of the things that they've actually done in recent months is they're essentially retrofitting all of their learning with audio files. And this isn't screen reader files like we already do for most of our courses. This is actually taking all of the written content and rendering it out as spoken word, so that people can listen to it. And you'll see, like, websites like the New York Times do this with many of their news stories and stuff now. And the Coaching Association of Canada's reason for doing it is essentially that they were putting on some in-person workshops and working with new Canadians or people who have very low literacy in English, essentially, and they wanted to make sure that their work was inclusive for those people. And so basically anything that is written in English, if you have low literacy, if you have trouble reading English, if you speak or read other languages and are learning English, it's really difficult to pick up on nuance or even meaning, right? That comprehension level is much lower as you're learning a language. I don't speak Italian. To go read Italian would be disastrous for me to try and interpret anything from it. And so they wanted to include this audio to help people understand better and make it easier for them to learn. And this is one of the key things that we often forget about, is we worry so much about the content, the knowledge that we're trying to transfer, that we forget all of the infrastructure around the content that actually allows people to learn and transform. And so I just want to give big kudos to the Coaching Association of Canada and their team for really taking the lead on this in their organization, and for making it easy for people to do the learning that's important that they're trying to share, so they can actually change the lives of these coaches and the athletes. And there's no judgment, there's no sort of, well, they're not, it's a very small part of the population that might need this. Doesn't matter. You make this thing accessible for one group, you make it better for every group. And that's the lesson for this, is accessibility isn't actually just about the group that you're making it accessible for. You'll find when you make things accessible, it branches out into all sorts of people that you never thought of, and they appreciate it and they use it. And so, yeah, shout out to our client. We're very lucky to get to work with them. They're a great organization. And if you want to talk more about accessibility, this is a topic that obviously I'm passionate about. Connect with me and we'll talk about how to make your stuff online or in person more accessible beyond just the usual stuff. But do the usual stuff too, right? That's a great place to start, but let's talk about expanding it to make stuff better for everyone. Anyway, that's my learning from this week about thinking about accessibility in a broader way. I hope that everyone's doing well, and we'll see you next week with another fun fact or learning from Onlia's All Hands meetings.